Hey guys, hope everybody's doing well and happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year coming up just around the corner. Going to show you kind of a workaround until VAC is actually enabled in the V3 software. There is a way kind of to work around that for the time being. This is only going to work with version v3 0.10.0 and v3 0.11.0, the two alpha releases, the two latest alpha releases. So with that said, let's get one of those going here. I'm going to do this example with the 0.11.0 alpha release, but this will work the same if you have the v3 0.10.0 alpha release as well. So I think I already had it running. My bad. There we go. All right, so in order to do this, and I'm going to lose audio for a second, I think. Maybe not. In 0.10.0 and 0.11.0, if you look up towards the top, you will see this icon that says line out the sound card. So you can use this line out the sound card and go to your settings menu and go to the third. Oh, sorry, that's not the third icon. It's the fourth icon, I think. Nope. Hold on. It's the second icon. Jeez, pick everything but the right one. Okay, so settings, the headphone icon, and then come over to your line out. So what you're going to need to do is make sure you already have your VAC channels, I guess minimum of 2 of them, enabled. You could set up 2 different ones, I guess, for receiver 1 and receiver 2, but I'm only going to do this with receiver 1. So it would you'd do the same thing if you're going to do this with receiver 2 at the same time. So you're going to click the little arrow, and then which will bring up the drop down box, and you'll be able to select. Can't do. Oh, and I'm going to lose audio. No, wait a second. No, I won't. Okay. So you'll be able to pick up your virtual audio cable. Now, this is only going to work, that I've found so far, with the Windows MME. I tried to do this with the WDM or the KS, and it didn't work. So as far as I know, this workaround is only going to work if you select the MME version of the audio cable. So for me, I'm going to use line 2 as my output, which up here, when I enable this again, you'll see is the line out the sound card. So I'm going to pick virtual cable 2 as my output sound card. Okay, so let me re-enable this guy, and we'll close this back up. So when you enable that, it will turn it on here, or if you turn it off up here, you'll see that it'll turn it off down here as well. So let's make sure you have that enabled, and then after you do that, you can close that panel. You will need to deselect your sound out card. So you're going to have to right click on this guy and disable, or left click on it, sorry. Left click and disable it, and then right click so you can bring the menu up. And on this one, I'm going to pick the MME Mic 1 virtual audio cable, which is I'm going to use as my input device, okay? And then we're going to re-enable this guy. One thing that I did do in the virtual audio cable software, let me bring that up, is underneath my cable 1, I did statically set these for the audio streams of 4800 or 48,000, sorry. And I did on 1, which I'm using for my line input, my mic input, I did enable that one with the fakie control for mic, which is why that shows up as mic down here when I selected that, okay? You do want to enable the volume control setting on this, because you're not going to have a way to adjust the output setting here. You're going to have to do that from the Windows control panel and the sound card settings. So make sure that you enable this so that you have that slider functionality in the sound settings. Okay. The other thing I did, and this is going to really depend on what application you're trying to do this with, but I did leave this on cable range. I did change my the interrupt milliseconds to 1. Playing around with the new version of VAR AHF and VAR AC, the new chat with that. So I did have to bump this down to 1 millisecond, which is the lowest it'll go. So after you do that, you can, hit, if you make any changes there, you'll need to hit the set button so that saves it, and you may have to restart your audio service. So on the VAC. So that said, once you do that, you'll be able to go into your sound settings, and this is going to look a little bit different. Let me drag this window over. I am using Windows 11, so this is going to look a little different. But on my we get here to, yeah. So this is disabled now because I've got my microphone plugged into the USB jack for the for OBS audio here. So anyways, when you do that, you'll get the slider control, and this is how you're going to adjust your output into whatever application that you're using. So you'll need to use this slider to adjust that level to wherever you need to, okay? On the input one, which I guess I should have left that up. On the input, where is the output, I'm sorry. I did leave that pretty much in the middle. I think the default is like 63, so I did move it up 1. Again, you may have to play around with that a little bit, but I'll show you another place you can adjust this gain setting as well. So once you do that, and in whatever application you're using, and for this little demo, let's just bring up, I'm not even going to, maybe I should turn this on. Let me turn this down though, so you don't get too much of that audio in there. Okay, so for this example, I'll bring up Vera AC here real quick, and I'll show you what I did. It'll take a second for this thing to launch here. There's my other one. Okay, so underneath the settings, whoops, that's not what I want. I want the sound card settings. So I do have my input device, which is what I'm using for my output here. Output to sound card is my VAC2, which is going to be my input device for this this example. And then the output from this program, which is actually going to go to the mic input of EESDR3, is my VAC1. I know I've probably got these flopped around, but it's the way I had it set up. You set them up whichever way you need to. Just remember that output from whatever program you're using is going to be the input for EESDR, and line out of EESDR is going to be the input, the other end of the virtual cable. That's going to be the input of whatever application you're wanting to set up. Okay. Then in this application, you do have a little slider here that you can adjust to get the level set right. Or when you do this, you're going to have to use the mic PC, okay? Which is why I said to enable this with, let me disable this again, to enable this to show MME mic virtual audio cable, which is why we checked that fake it mic input in VAC, the virtual audio cable box. Okay. So then you're going to select your mic PC up here, and you'll be able to adjust this slider as well to get your level set. Okay. Now that I've done that, excuse me, You can see that I do have a little bit of activity moving around here on the VU meter for the input. And then let me make sure I'm on an actual yeah, okay. Let me turn the volume up here a little bit. I don't want to key up on top of somebody if I don't need to. Looks like that's kind of dead. There's some AM broadcast going there, so we're not going to bother that too much. Then you'd be able to go ahead and send out. So you can see that the mic meter's moving there. I'm going to have to call CQ because it won't let me do the beacon thing again. But if I click call CQ here, you should see, I moved this to the mic meter now, you should see some activity there. So there you go. And when you do this, what I found was, let me let this call again real quick. All right. What I found was that if you can get the level, let me abort calling. If you can get the level set somewhere between minus 2.8 to about minus 1 or so, that seems to be right around that ALC threshold for V3 when you're on the mic PC thing, okay? Again, it's different if you go, and hopefully they straighten this out, but if I go to my regular microphone input, which I use is the mic 2 input on the front, I actually shoot for a level of about minus 10 to minus 8. If you get over minus 8 on this, I found that you get up into the ALC, something you want to avoid. So hopefully in one of the upcoming releases, they get this gain structure actually figured out, and so that everything's pretty much on a a level playing field. But so anyways, again, quick recap, line out up here, line out the sound card. You're going to go to settings, choose the headphone panel, which will bring up this. You'll be able to hit your drop down, and if this is disabled, you can hit the list here, and you're going to look for your virtual audio cable. Again, choose the MME version of the virtual audio cable. Okay, this will be for your line out, which is the input side of whatever application you're using. Let me re-enable this, and then for the other side, you're going to want MME mic or virtual audio cable, the other channel for that, which will be the output of whatever application you're using. So just remember, you're crossing those over. Input goes to output, output goes to input. Hopefully that didn't confuse anybody, but yes, they're backwards. You want to cross them over. Just picture in your head a cable that's actually running from one application, the output of one application into the input of another application, and vice versa. So that's kind of a quick a quick workaround. Excuse me, it's late. I've been up early and things are getting tongue-tied and twisted and who knows what all else slammed together. So hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully they get a new version of a VAC going here soon in one of the upcoming alpha releases. Got a feeling it'll be real soon. Just a little feeling. I'm not saying I know anything. Take care. 7-3. And again, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, God bless, and good health.